All right, so today's briefing is very important, and I want to just touch bases on why you're noticing and has always been the importance of correction, education in prisons, military, border patrol, creating job opportunities with the detainees, and then becoming allies, becoming great, solid partners, all understanding the value and importance of having each other healthy and having each other cared for and having each other equally knowledgeable. Because it got into a point where there was a lot of pointless arrest to where, for example, public funding, right? We have public funding. So a lot of times these things happen in life that we're in control over, which is why we created the credit bureaus to buy those accounts. So not only do you get paid, but you get paid more than in the initial consumer to ensure no risk to your business or health. And the bureaus have the same task as everybody else through real estate, through caring for our consumption, through labor work. Taxpayers, we're all working for our security. All right? Because back then, people would get arrested if they had an outstanding unpaid balance. And it was pointless because these are good people and unnecessary, uncontrolled things they went through, and out of nowhere, they can't pay their bills. And it's not even had nothing to do with their fault. It could have been the toxic environment. Somebody thought they were better than the people that feed them. There's tons of things to consider when speculating on why somebody can't deliver what's already paid for in full for everybody. So the prisons got packed, severely packed. There was no real result being done given the time, the labor work, and food to feed them and keep them healthy. They started to get sick. The officers started to get sick. Disease broke out amongst the communities. That's why it's important to always provide opportunities for the detainees. They can be equally informed, educated, and it solves every problem. Why does everybody come out in the first place? For a house, for a brand new car, clothes, food, a partner. Well, that takes getting along with your surroundings so you can all enjoy each other. So you can have a great life that you deserve. That's why you're seeing everything being legalized, distributed properly for healthcare so you can get the care that they need. Because we have a lot of healing plants, a lot of healing teas, foods, vegetables, medications that eliminate the stress of an organ that causes disease and sickness for a temporary time. So you can focus on living a nice, healthy, happy life. So there's way more that you benefit when providing job opportunities for the detainees and with the firmness of, hey, hazardous warnings to look out for, these things, exotic animals, when you're caring for the animals, plants, poisonous plants to look out for. You get me? And when we're on the next planet in the healthiest way, we're all building, waiting, cooking, cleaning, side by side. There's never no conflict ever, anywhere in the world. It never comes from us. We establish it healthy constantly through the good word in horror movies, drama, action, comedy, real life scenarios of personalities, problem solving, portraying characters, leading by example, and that needs to remain constant because new life keeps coming in. New employees keep coming in. They need to know the same importance. It's a humongous world. You don't know the talks that they have and the movies that they fancy, and we don't want them to be basing everything just off a movie. It's all education. Take it in, give it back to God. In real life, we care for our community, making sure everybody is under healthy living standards. Do you see how even the police, military, border patrol, they're within public fundings too, because we're all building together? So money is not an issue with anybody. Now it's to the point where now we need everybody motivated to work. We need everybody motivated to reach common understanding, provide opportunity for a better life the most healthiest way, because you can make anything a habit. So choose to accumulate and learn a habit that you want to have, that you know you'll never see a risk, and will guarantee you a great life all the time. It's more effective with corrections, everybody working side by side, rather than just giving time. They never learn their lesson, because sometimes some people are like, oh, thank God you're going to lock me up and I don't have to deal with these assholes. I don't have to worry about this much responsibility anymore. Give me my time. And no real change gets done. Right? So we have tons of healthcare operations, right? So one of my professional colleagues had told me, hey, so what were your healthcare operations at Border Patrol? And it was a very healthy, good question, very commonly asked. So healthcare operations, making sure everybody's healthy in the facility, making sure everybody is, spreading the good word, everybody's documented so they can get the health care that they need, everybody's fed, clothed, sheltered. I mean, they're not going to have a luxurious bed and luxurious life when they're getting in the process of being documented, because they got to also know this is not where you want to be, all right? Let's provide you a good job opportunity to build with us, to care for all of our consumptions, and establish great friendships. That's how we were established all over the world. And that's how you effectively implement public safety. And that is why we're respected with our privacy and our consumptions and everything. All right? It's important to always remain constant in the true foundation on how the foundation was built. Because then you get new employees fixing their mind, very toxic, and then everybody feels the repercussions when it was like one or two. All right? Because you could have went, instead of, if I didn't say the truth and the actual meaning of what we stand for all over the world, right? Then somebody would have been going off and saying, hey, we just arrest and deport. Like, no, that is not what we do. All right? Know why. You see how, like, it could make sense in a very, very toxic way? You see that, right? When in reality, we document so they can be cared for, so they can get the health care they need. If they ever get sick, they can be admitted to the hospital and get the proper care they need, and provide job opportunities so they won't be all sick over there, because if they get sick, we get sick. It's all disease control. They have to be equally blessed, and we understand that. That's why it's a together thing. It's always going to be together thing. It doesn't matter what title you are, we're all in healthcare. And we do it for life. That's why we train in combat and PT and in survival. Why? Because we can't explain it. It never comes from us. Nobody gets treated poorly from any law government official. We do it so we can always remain in good standing, so we can always have that great friendship. There's not going to be no homeless people ever again. Ever. There shouldn't have been. This is why it's also important to take advantage of the benefits that are provided for the people. That alone, just showing up, is constant education. Because then people divert their attention and misdistribute it when everybody has to remain healthy. They make a quick buck and then they take their meals for granted. When there's people that need to also remain in good standings, or they're not going to care for that burger that they're flipping for you. That's why wages must be increased every 3 months, the healthiest way. Every staff member, $10, $20 every pay period for a guaranteed wage increase every 3 months. And that's going to be that healthcare mandatory account that you put in the bank that sustains that healthy lifestyle for every business in the world. Because you don't want your workers that make you successful, you don't want them out there sick and then they quit. They're not even motivated to be a great success for you. That's why people are quitting very important jobs that they have in the restaurants waiting. They don't even want to be nice when they wait anymore. You need to pay them fairly. They need to afford a comfortable, healthy living. And we're telling you how, without no disruption, nothing changes, everybody getting along perfectly still. And now they can afford a mansion, the fanciest car. It's gonna come. It's already what it is. Because the richest people are going to want to keep on obtaining that lifestyle. So they understand they don't want no abandoned mansions anymore. So they got to be blessing other people to afford that. So implement by law too. By law, you have to implement mandatory healthcare guidelines so your workers can stay healthy and keep on being such a great success to any company that they present themselves. Every pay period, $10, $20, take it to the bank. Every 3 months. Guaranteed wage increase, and it'll never stop. Now you're going to understand money doesn't matter at that point. What matters is getting people motivated to do that labor work that's needed. They need to understand the importance, hey, this is what's going to keep me alive and healthy. And I also understand that, hey, I need to remain constant on these things we've been through and these obstacles that we faced as a farmer, as a builder. So it won't all come crumbling down when we're on vacation or enjoying our free time. We want to make sure we travel the world healthy, getting along with our friends, and we want to make sure our drinks are cared for with the same knowledge and importance and firmness of healthcare. We want to make sure we're eating with the same knowledge of, hey, this is why we come out. I can't believe for a moment For several years, we were seeing people flipping burgers not even affording a healthy living and to live on their own. That's so embarrassing. Not anymore. Everything's getting better. And we will always get better. Alright? So now you know the true foundation of how to implement public safety. Public safety. Alright? And that's through education. They come to us, they have poor examples, we correct it. That's short-lived. It's always going to be short-lived. You're only basing all of what you come outside on whatever, the movies we dish out, the news. That's all they base it off of, dude. We have people fucking embodying a character from a fucking movie. We see it on our police officers, military. Their whole lifestyle embodies somebody that we've seen in a fucking movie. Get all that shit out of your head. In real life, we care and correct and educate one another. We give job opportunities. And do you notice when I'm explaining myself, they try to get in the way? I don't know who's doing that shit, but it's fucking pointless. I was literally in the park right now. And I was just saying hi, to a family. And then they were forcefully putting words in my mouth like hate speeches. You need to stop that, because that shit starts wars. And that's why I'm letting it all be known. I'm letting everybody know that dumbass shit. Anyways, you always stay focused, right? I don't want you to be toxifying your mind with that shit, but you're going to be aware of what's happening. They try to use our bodies as a conductor of electricity, use us like a phone, shock us and threaten people. So you know how to effectively see the obvious problem. Very effective method. You just go ahead and eliminate it from your mind, and you stay with God and stay on that right pattern, on making sure everybody's under healthy living standards, all doing, the same tasks and duties. I don't know if it's, law enforcement, a government official using equipment, because when I'm getting shocked in the head or around the heart, they're saying I'm doing that on purpose. So they're using a microphone and doing something. I don't know what it is. But anyways, to see the obvious problem, you always remain in good standing, And then, of course, the obvious problem will always present itself. You just always, take care of one another. And you keep on spreading that good word. Stay with the right path. Stay on the right path all the time, all right? But I'm going to inform that unnecessary stuff is probably like one or two of the same voices or whatever. I have no idea what it is, but that doesn't define anybody. We have great partners. We have great friendships. Sometimes people get it so easy, get their blessings so easy that they lose their value in human life, and they, or they just formed a toxic habit for themselves that you got the ripple effect, and then now it's confusing the surroundings. And we can't have any of that, dude. We've already came so far in great progress. Everybody's getting along perfectly, so I know it's not even a handful. And God won't allow it. Nobody in the world would allow it to go on any further. And as I was saying, everybody's doing a great job. And whoever is on the case, just make sure you're attentive because then they can like be the problem, and then they could like be on the case. They created a case, and then they'll be like, oh, we're already on the case, don't worry about it, we're already informed about the situation, and then they're the problem. And even yesterday there was a nice gentleman, providing a telephone service, for the community on a new deal. And then he was saying something very great and very charming and very welcoming, great customer service. But I noticed that when he was saying, before he started his sentence or ended his sentence, some idiots like said something hateful out of his mouth. Like, they do things like that. And that's not even half of it, dude. They can literally, like I said, like, they can just, like, they can just put sound out of a gunshot and then use that popping sound to imitate a gunshot. Like if there's gunfire and there's not. And then they confuse the community. This is why I'm letting it be known. I'm not going to have anybody's in harm's way. It's a very pathetic thing, a very childish thing. It's so childish, in fact, that it doesn't define any of our countries, our neighbor countries. It doesn't define America. We don't stand on those values. That's how I know it's not even, I don't know if they're working with labels or that are partnered with agents, and then they confuse the situation. They can make somebody innocent look very guilty. That's why you always be very forgiving. Do that process of elimination if you catch it. You lock them up, and if it all stops, I don't know, but it's very, very noticeable. And I bet before presenting themselves, I bet they were very, very motivated and all proud that they did some dumbass shit. Because they're like manipulating that it's a way of keeping people protected. That's how they try to manipulate women and men and kids, dude. So that's why the real founders, owners, with everybody's family are presenting themselves as such with constant education so they won't forget. I don't know if they're investigating and they do some bullshit. They already made a toxic habit for themselves, so they think they can get away with crime and murdering anybody and getting away with it. I don't know what it is. But that needs to end immediately. So when you have a headache, one of my, great colleagues was having a headache. Now I understand why they're having headaches. It's being forced. A forced headache, they can go to the hospital and say they have a headache, they're prescribed medication, and then it affects. It's just creating sickness. We don't need that. We need to already be adapting to a greater, better life as we are together as one. You can, I feel like I'm wheezing, but it's not even that. It's that sound and vibrations. Some idiots talking, making it look like they're in me or something, but that's not the case. God does not do that. God guarantees a successful, great life. All that pressure on purpose, like you can't breathe, that sensation that you can't breathe, that's bullshit. Everybody's very, very healthy. They're trying to do that to us, Mr. Roman from the Bible. That's messed up. You're going to burn in hell, dude, whoever you are. And it's not going to be very great. You don't even know how to live. You don't even know how to keep on living and keep on having a great life. You're just rotting with poor sense of humor jokes. talking low frequencies, dude. I don't know if you can hear it when I'm silent. Like, it's very, very faintly, dude. It blends in with like TV, radio. It can make, like, you know, a group of the community look like they're saying all this false shit, but they're not. They have nothing to do with that. They just ignore it because, dude, it's fucking short-lived. Nobody gets anywhere being exactly as toxic as them. So we keep on constant on education, and we keep constant on that good word and right direction. That'll settle itself. Don't forget, God is always good all the time. I don't want you to be confused and then create a conflict amongst each other out there when we're in great standing everywhere in the world, all right? I'm putting no one in harm's way. Your life is not a joke to God. Nobody's life is. Everyone is taken very, very serious. It's God every turn. God is good all the time. There's going to be a lot of times where you're going to have to lead when you're not seeing anything you want to see. You're going to have to lead. Be that good person and that good leader. And direct our brave women and men the right way. Not put them in harm's way and entertaining war or conflict. No. We're not playing around with each other here. Our training is just to eliminate healthcare risk. But now they're trying to manipulate it. So God knows people that entertain all that fucking dumbass shit, they're all innocent. They were just manipulating the situation and they got all confused. And just like that, you burn in hell. And you thought you were protecting yourselves and your surroundings, but you were both in great standings. Take all of that out. You build. Cleaning, making sure our consumption's all healthy. There's tons of work to be done. Brand new roads need to be implemented. We can't be having our surroundings only some great. Now dude, it takes away the motivation of people to even put work in, to even remain a healthy hygiene. It keeps from work being done, dude. I don't know why you have to be messing with people like that. I don't know if it's a jealousy thing that you have or a toxic habit that you created. But it needs to be gone. Give them jail time. It's really messed up that what you're doing, dude. Anyways, they try to like silence me, but there's no way. It's like God knew they was going to be that stupid, man. I'm Mr. Roman from the Bible. I predicted the pandemic in 2016, and it actually happened in 2020. And tons around the world died. Why? Because people got careless. And it was from God. When I predicted it, it was way more accurate than the initial sickness itself. Nobody's playing games with God. If it's God very directly telling everybody to literally stop that shit and stop playing with each other's life and be directed in the healthiest way, that's what you're going to do. That's what we're all going to do together. No favoriting. I'm no different than you. God every turn. You take care of what's in front of you, dude, they take care of you back. We do it for life so we can keep on getting along. Don't fucking get confused. and then it goes back to PT. And that's how, when we're all on the right path, taking care of each other, taking all that shit completely out of our mind, that's how the problem is obvious all the time. So if they're using computers and microphones and all this shit, well, then we rebrand, have everybody involved, and we see, and we get right down to the bottom of it. This is why constant education remains very, very important. If it wasn't for me ahead of time working with all of the professionals and very sacred foundation that nobody would know, not even no presidents everywhere in the world will know, not even know, because there's a whole world to keep healthy. They won't even give my funds to me because we made a promise to keep it to the foundation in education and have everybody united and through education. I have to go through it same as everybody else, because people lose sight super quickly. When you're messing with God, you're going to know God, and you're going to know why what you do, very toxic, is very wrong. We have healthy ways to eliminate all that shit through motion picture, through education. And these things really happened. When you hear about conflict, what do? We spread the good word, give billboards of kind gestures, caring for our community, house built, brand new family from the community, happy with their brand new house, brand new car. We all clean to keep on affording it. You keep working side by side with us, and we build for everybody else. Everybody that comes out of the house, they just want a great life, dude. They just want a house, they want a car, they want food, they want to be clothed, they want a partner. We all bear the same fruits, don't confuse yourself. But with all of that good stuff comes with good relations and great relations. That's why it suppresses all disease, and it gives us respect and privacy and mutual understanding, and it keeps everybody left alone worldwide, internationally. Don't forget the truth. You should be thankful that people walk with God and people are all, meaning everybody in the world, that people point out shit when it's shit. Because then it affects all of us. That's why we take, even one person gets sick, then, dude, not even one person is taken for granted. Everyone is taken serious. We leave no one behind, anywhere. All of our neighbors' countries know that. We hear something happen, dude, man, we love them to death. We got to take care of them. And then we eliminate that conflict immediately. Because we do it for life. And then it's back to PT. And then we continue building, making sure all of the whole world is brand new and luxurious through equity, real estate, caring for our food, the good word, constant education, because new life comes rapidly, dude. And with that, they also need to be great animals, and their foods need to be constantly planted. So you always stay focused, all right? To catch the obvious problem, so everybody won't be confused, and then a bunch of innocent lives, gone for no reason. No matter what you hear, put that great value in everything, and you always be there for one another. You never judge, not in real life, not in anywhere. God is always kind, God is loving, God is patient, and God is good all the time. Like God said, rotten fruit will fall on its own. All of that shit, they kill each other off, dude. So you just stay focused, man. It's going to always be worth it. Whatever we go through that's out of our control, know that God has all of our backs. And I'm talking about all the military, all government agencies everywhere in the world. Because we are builders, we're care providers, we're engineers, we're farmers, we're cleaners, and we're educators. Because there's new life. There's tons of work to be done. A lifetime of work. You need to be directed the right way. The way that it will always be and always has been. We have tons of examples of our shortcomings. That's so obvious. There's a humongous world, dude. They can purposely, blind you if they target you when you're unaware, because we're all focused on a good life. Just like you can know with God how they try to manipulate the good word and they just put God in the sentence, and it was only for their own self-glorification or something. And we saw that with education too. They dished out a bunch of education just to make somebody that knew what they were talking about. They made him look like, or made who all the professionals look like they didn't know what they're talking about. That's bullshit. Dude, jealousy comes in many forms. Even with a compliment. Yeah, it's all you. You go. And then they just hide behind you, they fuck up, and then they just blame you. Because you're a great leader. And you see all of this with God. You stay with God. Any weapon formed against you will not prosper. So now we're all building, cooking, cleaning, waiting, having good friendships. Hell yeah. That's all you just think about. Correcting, had poor examples. Now they correct with the firmness. Hey, you know that's short-lived. I don't know who is jealous of you, but dude, we're giving you a great life. Get over it. It's way more effective and proven with no risk involved. I'm staying silent so to see if you guys can hear it. Like when I'm asleep or something, like they do like this noise or something with the waves. I don't know what it is. It makes you like kind of like vibrates your brain, or like you know, and then like it make you freeze or to a sense. It's stupid, like it stuns you or something. Anyways, God wouldn't allow it. We don't do that to anybody. We're not known for that. We're known for great relationships, constant education. There's a reason why everybody's healthy and respected when they go back home. Because we provide the equal opportunity. Because when you have the same life, you encounter these obstacles that you know are short-lived, and you know what's the best interest to keep on having that great life. Your health needs to always be obtained. New life comes rapidly, man. One of these days, you're going to grow old, you're going to grow weary. You're going to be fighting for your breath. You're not going to be able to express yourself in long durations of time because you're trying to catch your breath. You're going to reach fatigueness. You're not going to be able to be doing these things that you used to do when you were younger. And you got to make sure that you're going to be cared for, ensuring great results, God's health, great care and compassion, and taking every single patient and every individual around the world very serious. So there's tons of things to look forward to. I wouldn't want you to, have that initially. Right now, they're targeting me for no reason. So I'll be the easiest way to find them, or I don't know what it is. But God's already telling me they already know who it is. They're just confirming it now. Easy come, easy go. Just let them have that confidence. They try to threaten us in secret. We're over here getting along, making sure nobody messes with them. And this is how they do us. Even if it's somebody, our neighbor country, that doesn't define the whole country. If it's somebody from here, it doesn't define the whole country. Or they're confusing it. And they're hiding behind record labels or somebody investigating and wanting to do some deal or trying to get money off us. They arrested me not that long ago in September 2024, September 8th. And in my cell, they were doing that popping shit to my head for no reason. So that's proof there. I was working at Vape City on a healthcare operation, making sure our consumption's healthy. And they just kept on talking low frequency, blending in with radio. That's not even half of it, dude. If somebody's investigating that, they can probably keep on manipulating that shit too. Some bullshit, dude, for real. Anyways, nothing to worry about. You just always make sure you have that right direction. Education will solve it all. Everybody comes out for a house, vehicle, clothes, partner. Well, anything that they want to try, because we all bear the same fruits. They're not going to want that shit. And they're going to make themselves very fucking obvious if they created that toxic habit for themselves. It's a fucking rotten ass life. Anyways, you just, take care of one another and enjoy your friendships and travel the world. It's going to be very, very cool for you guys. And then, we can have big homes underwater, underground. And then we go to space. During the duration, we make sure we take that confidence in commuting very, very healthy with no discrepancies. That alone is very, very great. Making sure no discrepancies, that we're all back and forth, very, very nice with no wrongs. And then we take the healthy patterns to space. And be aware, just like we have crocodiles, we have, alligators, crocodiles, lions, bears, all of this stuff. Fishes, we're going to have life there too. We already saw life on the next planet. So there's a lot of things through education to be aware of. People will lose their life. That's what happened when we encountered the fact when we learned and encountered, hey, we gotta shelf life our produce. People got sick, they died. And that's why we noticed a lot of rotting animals going bad and getting sick, because their attention was on flesh and things that don't matter, dude, there was a real importance to make sure that our animals were needing to be cared for, and their foods were needing to be planted and replanted, and they're producing tons of new life. They have to keep on producing that food for them. They gotta keep on having healthy surroundings. I went to the park the other day. I mean, today, dude, today. And the lake was drained, right? But there was trash. Hopefully they take it out, because that's in the healthcare guidelines. And there's a fire department right there. We're all builders. We're all care providers. This is one of our duties. Instead of adapting to a fire, now we all know we're all builders, so we get very in tuned with the wiring, knowing what we're working with at all times, making sure we don't see that. The training is just to prepare for any health risk, like everybody else is trained to. And if that's their place of home, people are way more equipped, and they're very more, I saw a fire nearby, and the firefighters were just like, they walked to a fucking whole car in engulfing flames, dude. They weren't even hustling. You need a good leader. Everyone needs to know the importance on why we're all getting blessed in the first place. Increase those wages healthy, making sure all of our surroundings are cared for and all the trash is out. You can purchase a piece of land that'll pay itself when you just, dispose of the trash and the waste. Okay, with your partners, do your research. Hey, who collects this waste? That could be one thing. Hey, who uses plastic as fuel? That could be another. With metal, the dealerships are going to have to start working with people that recycle metal with the manufacturers, so they can melt that metal, remold brand new cars. We're providing you win-win situations, zero risk to any business. And that's why constant education is very important. New life keeps coming in. And that's it. It's all for life. Now when we're all doing the same tasks, making clothes, shampoo, spreading the good word is very important. Sports, all of that good stuff is very important. Events, great unity. Well,